Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. My name is Shannon, and today I'm going to make a quiche. I'm just going to use one of those store-bought refrigerator pie crusts, some Swiss cheese, some bacon that I've already cooked up, 5 eggs, some butter, mushrooms, heavy cream, Frank's Red Hot. I'm also going to be using some olive oil, garlic salt, garlic powder, and fresh cracked pepper. I'm going to start with getting the pie crust unrolled and placed in the pie plate. Now, I'm not very good at this, but in the end it tastes really good, so it's okay if it doesn't look very pretty. The next thing is I'm going to grate about 1 cup of Swiss cheese is what I'm guesstimating I ended up using. And then the next thing is I'm going to take that bacon that I've already cooked up, and I'm going to chop it up into probably a little bit smaller than bite-sized pieces. I want a good distribution of the bacon throughout the quiche. So yeah, so we're going to get that chopped up. We're going to get it placed in the bottom of the pie. And then we're going to move on to the mushrooms. Now I've already rinsed and drained the mushrooms. And I'm going to chop them or slice them up, and I want to saute some of the moisture out of them so they don't make my quiche taste funny or make it, too runny or whatever. So I want to saute the mushrooms in a little bit of butter and olive oil. So there's the butter, and I'm going to put a little olive oil in there. And then I want to saute most of the moisture out of those mushrooms. And then I want to let them cool just a little bit before I add them to the pie crust. So next, I'm going to go ahead and crack the eggs into a bowl. Now, looking as I was doing this, I thought to myself, I should have probably used a bigger bowl. That's okay. It all came together. It all worked out just fine. So here I'm using a little bit of garlic powder. I think it was about 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, and then I had already put in about 1/2 teaspoon of garlic salt. And then I'm going to put in some fresh cracked pepper. And then I'm going to get in there and I'm going to whisk those eggs up really, really good. Yeah. So, and then, like I said, I almost forgot. I put a couple of dashes of the Frank's Red Hot sauce in there. It doesn't make it spicy. It just adds a really good flavor. So I'm going to whisk those eggs up. And then I'm going to, this is where I really thought, oh no, I probably should have used a bigger bowl. But I was dedicated to using this bowl. Okay, so we're going to add about 1/2 cup of heavy cream. And we're going to get that good and mixed up. And I think maybe, I don't know if you're supposed to layer the ingredients in the bottom of the pie crust and then pour the eggs on, which is what I did. Or if you're supposed to mix it all up together in the bowl and then pour it into the pie crust. This worked out just fine, and in the end, it worked just fine. I did let those mushrooms cool a little bit before I put them in there. And I'm sorry that I'm completely out of frame here. Well, I guess I'm not completely out of frame. You can see a little corner of it. I'm working on that. I just get so busy and I just kind of forget, honestly, that I have to make sure things are in the frame. I'm working on it, I promise. So here I put the Swiss cheese in. I'm kind of spreading that all out, and I'm going to mix the eggs up again, and I'm going to pour that into the pie crust. And this is where I thought, well, maybe I was supposed to mix everything up in the bowl because I felt like the egg mixture wasn't getting down into the bottom of the quiche. So you can see here, I'm going to take my whisk and kind of push and mix it up. I didn't want to disturb things too much, but I also wanted the egg mixture to get down into the bottom to make it all taste good. So I cooked this for about 55 minutes on 350. And then I took it out of the oven and I tested it to make sure it was done, and it was, and then I let it sit for 30 minutes. And here is after all that is done, and I'm cutting into it. And I'm going to show you that even though I was second guessing myself pretty much the whole way through the preparation of this quiche, it ended up being just fine. It tasted really good. The egg mixture got all distributed, the bacon and the mushrooms and the Swiss cheese, and it was all really, really good. I was very pleased with it. So I wonder in the future, because that's a lot of quiche for me to eat by myself, I think I'm going to see if I can't freeze it next time. I think you probably can freeze it. I mean, you can buy the quiche in the freezer section. Anyway, I hope you have a great day. See you next time. Bye.